welcome to Hard Talk India. The allegation that Abhijit Kale offered bribes to cricket selectors has opened a Pandora's box, leading to serious questions being asked about the way cricket is conducted in India. And the bottom line seems to be the issue: has something gone seriously wrong? That's the question that I shall discuss today with my guest, the President of the Board of Control for Cricket in India, Jagmohan Dalmia. Mr. Dalmia, let's start with Abhijit Kale. You suspended him without waiting for the inquiry to give you its verdict, without even asking him to explain and give his side of the story. What was the rush?
It was not a punishment. What happens, there are the two different issues. Punishment can be given by the disciplinary committee. I've got no right to give any punishment. What I have to do it is that when a complaint comes, from which quarter, to what extent, how serious it is, and if there is a selection pending, I put the playing in abeyance. Playing means the proceedings are to be kept in abeyance, and a player plays. Besides this, I can't do anything. I have to keep in suspension his playing. Reason was, Sri Lanka was moving all over India playing the test matches for the A team. And he is also at the verge of the selection. He was selected for the A team. He could have been selected. And after that, the kind of complaint has come. I had to put him.
But you see, Mr. Dalmia, you say you had to put him in abeyance because selection was happening and he could have been selected. But Rule 38(7), which you cited, says that a player may be suspended. It doesn't say he has to be. There was room for discretion. Why didn't you exercise your discretion?
True, it is the optional. But when I'm sitting in the president's chair at that time, I have to see to it that when option is to be exercised. And to me it appeared that whatever the complaints, since the inquiry is on, many things you have seen, many things still not come.
Except also that, as you grant, it was optional. You could have exercised discretion. In this case, there were at least three good reasons for exercising your discretion. The allegations were 3.5 months old. The sum of money involved, people said, seemed improbably large. Most importantly of all, by suspending him, it seemed to many you were punishing him before he was found guilty.
As far as the first part is concerned, that he could have been, from where the money was going to come in. He had an agreement signed with one of his sponsors, by all the time, the agent. As far as second part is concerned, where you said about, your second part was where you said that
the allegations were 3.5 months
right.
old.
Allegation was not 3.5 months old. On the 18th, the complaint came. On the 18th itself, he telephoned to the selectors.
Except that the complaint you got on the 18th referred to things that had happened in May, that had happened in July, that had happened in August. Nothing had happened after the 5th of August.
No. And it continued to happen till 18th of November.
You're saying that, in fact, from August till November, there was
on the
further
date
attempts
of
to bribe.
on that, no. What happened, I don't know. I don't know. What has happened is that he was talking to the selectors, and last happened was on the 18th, and which is in the complaint it was, and which he has admitted.
You're saying that Abhijit Kale was offering money to the two selectors even on the 18th of November?
I don't know whether he was offering the money or not.
All the press reports and all the accounts that have been meticulously put together by journalists suggest that the contacts between Kale and the two selectors happened in May, June, July, and the last one was 5th of August.
No. Last one was on the 18th of November.
There was a contact between Kale and the selectors on the 18th of November.
And that is the admitted position. But on that day there was a complaint, and the complaint was, the phone call was from the local cricket association. And that was ultimately the admitted position.
In which case, you just today revealed certain things that the press and journalists don't seem to be aware of. That in fact the contacts didn't stop on the 5th of August, that they continued through the months of September, October, and the last contact was 18th of November.
Yeah, but then beyond that, if you ask me that what else has happened, which will unfold as the things move, I am under little compulsion because the matter has gone to the disciplinary committee and he has to get the natural justice, and one should not make any opinion and should not comment on what more happened. But yes, I promise you, you call me once again, once the inquiry is over, I will tell you that.
But you're saying something very interesting. You're saying you can't reveal what else has happened, but clearly you're saying that other things did happen. There is more evidence, there is more proof.
Yeah.
In other words,
which came to me, I do not know the truth of it, but it warranted at that time as a president for me to keep the proceedings in abeyance, and proceeding was on his plea.
In other words, you're saying there are more things about the Abhijit Kale incident that the world does not know about, but which would hold him to be, in quotations, guilty.
It is again not guilty. That is what repeatedly trying to tell
Worthy
you.
of inquiry.
Worthy of inquiry, undoubtedly, but issue is different. Worthy of inquiry, that's why I sent for the inquiry. It was not a question of a judging. I have got no power and I was not judging. But whether pending the inquiry, an option which was available was that so grievous charges, such a grievous the complaint that I should have put his playing in the abeyance.
So let me clarify for the audience. You're saying that the reason why you didn't exercise your discretion and actually chose to suspend him is because you knew a lot more than has been made public so far.
What I knew was from the selectors. I do not know how far is the truth. How far is the truth?
But you had good reason from what the selectors had told you not to exercise your discretion and instead opt to follow 38(7) and suspend it.
True, but suspension once again is not as a by way of punishment, but under 38(7), as which you have quoted, is to keep it in abeyance.
In which case, how do you react to the fact that some of the most worthy cricket notables in this country, and it's really a long list of them, have come out to say that you've acted unfairly? Your own captain, Soren Ganguly, had question marks to raise, Kapil Dev had question marks to raise, Ajit Wadekar did, former predecessors like Raj Singh Dungarpur and I.S. Bindra have raised question marks, the ICPA, the MCA. How do you react to them?
Your list is not exhaustive, there are many more of that list, yes. But have you seen interesting that all they reacted for the 4-5 days, and once the report has come from the commissioner, nobody is talking about.
So
nobody
have any
has come
of them
forward.
come to you and in fact given you some apology or some explanation?
No. It doesn't happen. Apologies are not required. Their silence and thereafter not following it itself is understood. That they, at that time, probably didn't act in the haste, but they were in little haste to make the.
What about something else? Newspapers have alleged that you should have also taken action against the two selectors, Kiran More and Pranab Roy. They say that these two gentlemen took their time. After all, the first contact, even they don't deny, happened way back in May. They didn't inform you till November, 5 months later. Isn't there grounds for suspicion in the fact that they delayed informing you by up to 5 months?
As far as the inquiry is concerned, even complainant has to come forward and prove his charges. And in this particular case, the complainant was also to appear before the commissioner, and they will be required to appear before the disciplinary
But you
committee.
haven't exercised Rule 38(7) to suspend them or to put their activity in abeyance in any way?
It doesn't come on 38(7).
38(7) covers selectors.
It covers selectors, it does not cover the complainants. It covers the so-called alleged accused.
But it covers selectors, and you could have argued that these selectors have taken 5 months to tell me. They should have told me in May or in June or in July. They did not. Therefore, I am putting them in suspension as well.
You are absolutely correct. If there was a complaint to that, I would have looked into it. But then there was a difference.
So if someone had come to you and said formally, please also take equivalent action against these selectors, you might have considered doing it.
Might have, might not have. Because what happens, there is a big difference. Here, the certain people in the country appoint the judges in the Supreme Court and High Court. Same judge, when he goes about it, there is a provision for the impeachment. But when you take action against a judge, it is one has to think about it twice.
There's a very interesting bottom line. If someone had complained about the selectors, you might have considered taking action against them. No one did complain, so the need did not arise.
Right. But then, quantum you have to understand. What you are saying is for the deal of, I give you on the administrator a example. My treasurer, if withdraws 10 or 20 lakhs from the account which is not meant for the board, I may put him on suspension. If somebody comes and complains that 7 days there was the arrangement that he will pay my bills but he took the 20 days, I will not. What is the nature of complaint? Complaint is if grievous and it is said that, well, he has taken away the money from the account, I will.
Okay.
Here, there is a very big difference.
I understand.
And the selectors were also to appear before the commissioner, and if the disciplinary committee found a prima facie case against them. So
let me put it like this. Given the fact that you faced a lot of criticism, given the fact that some people say you took action against Abhijit Kale, but you took no action against the selectors, although you've given your explanation why, in your heart, do you think you've acted fairly?
Not only acted fairly, if I've given the similar circumstances and if I'm sitting in the same chair, I will do the same thing again.
Sadly, Mr. Dalmia, this is not, of course, the only instance of bribery in cricket. The same matter came up last year when Ritesh Yadav's father complained that two UP selectors had asked his son for 50,000 to put him into the under-17 team. At that point in time, you seemed to behave differently. You did nothing, you took no action.
No. The gentleman named Shyam Bahadur Jadhav, who introduced to me as the father of Ritesh, and he saw me in the Taj Palace Hotel at Delhi. He came, he said that his boy has got potential to play for the country, and he is not being given a chance. There is an unfair play with him. And I inquired that where he has played, under 15, under 17, under 19. They said no, nowhere, because he's not given a chance. I said whether he was called for the camp. Yes, to what camp? Then they produced a letter that some physical conditioning camp. I inquired how many, there was a plenty, I don't remember the number, 50 or something. I said, all right, since it has not registered with the board, we have to inquire from the association, but then let us see. He produced a letter to me and said, but I don't want an inquiry from the board. I said, then why you are saying me what you want? He said that there is the president of UP Cricket Association, Jagan Swarup, and I want him only to inquire in the matter. I said, very well, you go to the Kanpur. You meet the gentleman, and since you have not played, your boy has not registered, that is the right forum.
In other words, you had reason to be suspicious. This wasn't a straightforward, genuine complaint.
More than that, politics, why a man will ask me to go to instruct a president of an association who is the right man,
so
and
you
he can
thought
go
there was
directly.
politics here, which is why you said, I'm not going to touch this.
No, just a minute. And this letter, he gave me in writing. This is what his request, not that verbal. And that written request was distributed to the entire press on the last working committee meeting, and I said that this is what the complaints are coming, this is what you all are writing. He gave me in writing, here are the documents, and the documents copies were distributed to the entire media.
In other words, there was politics and there was bad play involved.
I'm not gone further deep into it. He never wanted inquiry from the board. He wanted, I do not know what ultimately happened, but on the face of it, it appeared to me he was more interested to go to Mr. Jagan Swarup, which he was liberty to do that.
So what about the fact that even if the Ritesh Yadav incident is one that's now clouded in confusion and intrigue and perhaps, as you say, politics, what's happened in the last 3 weeks is that so many other examples of alleged bribery have come tumbling out of the cupboard that people in India today think bribery and some form of corruption is rampant in cricket.
I'm keeping a close watch on it. At least as far as I'm concerned, I've come across 2 more incidents.
Can I quote a few of you? Venka Pratap and Pavan Kumar claim it's happening commonly in Hyderabad. Shyam Bahadur Yadav, Mahinder Singh and coach Arvind Bhardwaj claim it's happening commonly in UP. Ayaz Memon, who's a very respected journalist, says it's happened in Bombay. The papers talk about incidents in Delhi, even in small Himachal Pradesh.
Yeah, and that is the 2 incidents I'm going to tell you. Uttar Pradesh we have discussed, Himachal and Hyderabad. In the Hyderabad, there is an inquiry, some committee or something set up, which I'm telling you, nobody has come to me, what I read in the papers. And next day, I saw a TV interview of Venka Pratap and saying that I have not said it. I said only people should inquire. That I saw, and it was on the TV, probably 24/7 or
Sahara
somewhere. As far as Himachal is concerned, a person was saying that I played for so long and I was given money not to play. People pay the money for playing. People either side.
So in other words, you're saying that you have your doubts about these stories. You're
no,
not
it has
sure
not
how
come
credible.
to me. It has not come to me. I
but
don't know.
The point is that the impression in the country as a result of the events of the last 3 weeks is that there is something seriously wrong. First we had match fixing. 3 years later we have this bribery scandal. People ask, is something rotten in the world of Indian cricket?
Let us go to that little later. First of all, let us come about it. Entire thing was talked about, and if I understood it correctly, it was that in case if this is all that is happening or there is no fair play in the junior cricket, how the supply line will be. What is the future of Indian cricket tomorrow? Because junior cricket is suffering the most. This is what is the issue and which is the vital issue.
And that's where you believe the worst corruption is allegedly possibly taking place.
No, it is not taking place. That is what I want to tell you, and I want the people of this country to know, as 3/4 of the country is interested in the cricket. 2 years back, we thought at the board that this issue of the junior cricket should be revisited, that how the selections are, how the details are. What we did, there is a selection committee of 5 people, but we appointed TRDO, Talent Research, the development officers, and whom we appointed, we did the 5 zones. West was headed by Ashok Mankad, Central was by Parthasarathi Sharma, East was by Rusi Jijiboy, South was by Vivek Jaisimha, and North was by Surinder Khanna. All were the test players. Above them, we put the Dilip Venkateswarlu.
But you're taking into the details of the structure. Has this cleaned up the mess?
Yeah,
That's the problem.
I'm coming to that. In case at the moment we are saying it is not going well, then there is no more administrators in it. So this is important. I think that yes, we have probably limited time, and I take 1 minute. And therefore, what they do, they have been asked not to comment on the boys of the state from where they come. They have to give, not that I like because I like this boy, without giving reason. Otherwise, there may be a case of I scratch your back, you scratch my back among
So you've tightened up procedures and you've removed areas where they could have acted prejudicially.
And in the selection committee, after getting all these reports from other TRDOs, Dilip Venkateswarlu sits. Unless we have got the doubt against all these gentlemen, it's not going on. After all, nobody can set a full proof, and neither I can claim.
How confident are you that this system that you've put in motion is going to work?
It is working.
You're
not going
confident
to
of
work. It is working. And our boys are coming in, and if you take out the product from that system, you will find that there is a regular supply.
Because
line.
one of the biggest concerns that people have today, they say something has gone wrong with Indian cricket. We had match fixing, now we have bribery, there is money being made and there is money being paid. Talent is being squeezed out.
People talk about every aspect. Somewhere it is truth, maybe everywhere it is the truth. That is the walk of the life if we have to live into that, and the whole world this is coming. So let us not discuss what people say. Let us talk about
in
something.
a corrupt world, cricket will be corrupt also. Is that what you're saying?
No. Cricket, I'm saying that if you ask me, I have not kept a single case unattended. If you would say that what you say as a general public, I say the entire world as they're talking about it, your elections for the top positions are fought.
Let's move away from elections, let's move away from general society, let's concentrate in fact on the BCCI. People say that what's happening in cricket is a manifestation of a bigger problem in the BCCI. They say the real problem is that the BCCI is non-professional, it's run by amateurs, it's run in an ad hoc and arbitrary way.
People are talking more about cricket because cricket is the most popular game. People don't talk about others because others don't care.
And that's why they care about cricket. They say, let me give you an example of their concern. They say India has the richest cricket board in the world, but it doesn't even have a formal headquarters. And in the ICC website, its address is given as GSS Lane, Mankood, Trivandrum. Why don't you have a proper headquarter?
We have got a headquarter, and from not now, for a long time, but if you want that, why not we have got a posh building of ours, probably that's a different...
But how come that on the ICC website, Kerali GHS Lane, Mankood, Trivandrum is your formal address?
Because it is the secretary, along with that it goes, but the other address, which is the permanent address, also must be there, which is at the Brabourne Stadium, and which is there for the years, for some 2 decades or 3 decades.
You know, you say you have a proper headquarter. Let me quote to you your vision statement of 2000. You committed yourself to constructing a formal, proper headquarter, to strengthening the BCCI office. 3 years have passed. That commitment hasn't been fulfilled.
That doesn't mean we are not functioning.
Oh, functioning maybe, but you function out of hotel rooms, you function out of hired premises. Why don't you have your own headquarter?
Do you think that only because you have got a very posh your own office, that ends the matter? Matter is not ending. You have raised a very pertinent point, that how comes that this body is still governed by the amateurs and not the professionals. Let us go to the more important thing. I don't think that having a...
In which case, let me add something to your question.
Yeah.
You are perhaps the only cricket board in the world that is not run by a professional, fully paid CEO or managing director. Instead, you have dedicated amateurs who become president whilst doing other jobs. Surely that can't be good for Indian cricket.
What you need is the right kind of the people to work there. If you pay somebody the money and you get somebody, it doesn't work. And why in the world it is not working?
It
and why
works
in
for
India it
every
is
other
working?
cricket board in the world. Why won't it work for the Indian cricket board?
There is a difference. Other cricket world, there is nobody has got the time, nobody wants to sacrifice the time, nobody cares for the game of the cricket. They come as only, president is all amateurs, but the balance, they come, they put the man and they run it just like a company
It's
affair.
very interesting you're saying that other countries don't have people who care. You care so much of the BCCI that the Indian team is in position 6th according to the ICC ranking.
I tell you, if this cricket was not that popular, the people would not have been coming. There is a underline that the people, while they come and give their time, is some corner of their heart. They probably look towards also the recognition. Maybe they look towards some kind of the publicity. But whatever
Mr.
could be the
Dalmia,
reason.
at the moment, only people with personal means and personal income can aspire to be the BCCI president because the person isn't paid at that post. Surely you are restricting the job to those with personal means rather than to the best man qualified.
CEO is the one position which you can say that probably one should be paid, and we had one, but then we are working on the dual system. That's why it didn't answer and sidetracked it. That we had Sarad Diwadkar, Polly Umrigar, all that CEO at that position.
Yes, but look at the people who have run the BCCI since 1990. Madhav Rao Scindia, a full-time politician. Bindra, a full-time civil servant. Dungarpur, a Maharaja and a gentleman of leisure. Mutaiya, a full-time businessman. Dalmia, a full-time businessman. All of you have other interests and other jobs. You can't be giving 100% to cricket.
Because you feel that it will not be given unless he is paid and unless he is there sitting all the 24 hours.
Because then when he's paid, he becomes accountable. People who aren't paid aren't accountable.
We are probably, I feel in India, people who come there, whether he's paid or not paid, he is accountable. He has to be transparent.
Do you know what your critics say? They say there's some suspicious reason behind the BCCI refusing to appoint a full-time CEO. Are they scared it will reveal the mess? Or are the present board members and the present structure benefiting people? Which is it?
What do you feel? Don't you feel it's a very uncharitable and uncalled for? And it is no truth in it because you are saying in principle, you are not substantiating anything by the incidents. We talked about Kale, we talked about Yadav. Let us talk about the other issues. Maybe today, maybe other day. Let us not...
People are responding, Mr. Dalmia, to the fact that within 3 years we've had 2 major corruption scandals affecting Indian cricket. This is a country of cricket lovers, and they're seeing a game that they think is the most noble being corrupted by money and being corrupted by lack of transparency.
As far as the 2 you are talking about at the current, whatever, if somebody says it is a scandal, I think that it is a hidden agenda the people are talking about.
Hidden agenda?
Otherwise, where is the proof? We have discussed in
So
the
you're
very
shooting
beginning.
the messenger because you don't like the criticism the messenger brings?
No, not that. Criticism must be with the proof. Criticism can apply anyone. I can say that the hard talk is probably not so good and one should not do and there is something. But I must come forward and talk about what's the wrong and whether hard talk is doing one of the best
Let me
ones.
put something to you. Today in the press, the credibility of the BCCI, which used to be one of the most revered institutions, is under question. And I'm saying to you that if you don't take corrective action, if you don't become transparent, you will undermine the institution.
There are 2 parts of the question. As far as transparency is concerned, I believe in it, and whatever transparency should be increased, there should be more interaction, more details, everything should be available, so that there are no communication gaps, there are no misunderstandings, there are no wrong perceptions. That I fully agree. As far as if you say that this is what the world is feeling or this the public is feeling, I think that little more homework is needed. Cricket board...
You only have to read the papers. You only have to read the columnists and you'll realize that they're losing confidence in you.
You talked about the whole world. You have to go and look into it and find out that whether the Indian Cricket Board is considered round the globe and in the country whether one of the best administered sports bodies.
So you're saying to me that the criticisms are wrong, the BCCI is loved, and there is no need for change?
There may be changes are always welcome. Always there is a improvement.
But no big, great need for change?
There is nothing like this at the moment which is creating a kind of a situation where we say that everything is lost and paradise lost. That is not the situation.
Mr. Dalmia, a pleasure having you on the program.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.